Okay, so I'm gonna continue. Where was I? Like there. I'm gonna continue with what I was saying before. I made this into a part 2 because I don't want to torture people. So here we go.
If they exist, they have to acknowledge my presence. Failure to do so is, well, stupid.
Oh, they certainly haven't been acknowledging much of it.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Much of it. Oh, there you are again. There you are again, comparing.
Well, you must admit they really do not acknowledge you much anymore. Not ever since I came in.
It's not like they have to for me to exist, you know.
Okay, so this whole thing, this whole scene, I guess, is an entirety, is just Morris being to Elphys just like, I'm not gonna leave. Like, it's like you can't get rid of me, bitch. Basically. And just like, at every turn, just being like, Elphys, you're just being stupid. Like, just acknowledge. Just acknowledge. But especially that one part is showing, I think it's very interesting. Mainly because most gods in Origins, most of them, are like, it's either like a Momiji type thing, where like, they have to get prayers in order to survive, because then they lose all their power and they die. Or it's that they need the prayers, they need to be known in order to still exist, or like gain the power that they need. But Moros isn't like that, because they can be hated, they can be despised, and they're still there. They won't go away, because they don't need the appraisal of other people, because they know their main function is to not be liked. Because whether we want to admit it or not, people like praying to the deities which give them good things. And Moros is chaos. You don't want that. So, who are they gonna pray to more? Elphys. Because they are the embodiment of hope. And people like that. But, like, you can see Moros cares, but not necessarily. Like, they don't need it. But they would like that, but they don't need it. Like, they know what they are. Once again, clairvoyance. They know what they are. They're not good, they're not evil, they're them. But they also acknowledge that Elphys is also not good. Or bad. Also, I think it's a cool design choice for this. Because if you look at Moros' side, you see this? Doesn't it look like a yin and yang? You see the dot in the left and the dot on the right, and then you see the yin and the yang. But what's cool is that what would usually be the dark side of the yin and yang is Elphys' side. And Moros' side is white, which I think is cool because in an actual yin and yang, the dark side's supposed to be the dark side. But Elphys is supposed to represent the light, but they're on the dark side. Also, Moros' side is more a mix of black and white. Moros' side is very deconstructed, very chaotic once again. But it's cracked, but it's also white. Yin and yang based. Unlike Elphys', which isn't. Because chaos is chaos. It causes destruction. We're not idolizing it. But also how both yin and yang are incorporated into Moros' side is cool.
Oh, there you are again. There you are again, comparing.
There you are again, comparing. Because they compared their temple to Moros' temple. But you notice how Moros is more annoyed that they're getting satisfaction out of this? Like, they don't care about the temple. Only if Elphys cares about the temple.
Well, you must admit they really do not acknowledge you much anymore.
But they do admit it.
Since I came in.
It's not like they have to for me to exist. You know this.
But that's the thing, they don't.
However, you are left far less powerful due to it.
So Elphys is more powerful because of how they are. But they can both exist without the power. It's just Elphys has more power because of they're adored by people. But Morris isn't. But they don't really mind.
One day, maybe you will simply shrivel away. Not enough power. And once that happens, when the box is open again, I can return to their world and help bring about a new, brighter time.
Oh, I see how it is then. You want me to shrivel up and disappear. I see how it is. So that way you can spend the rest of your days without me.
Also, I like how they added this design choice. So Elphys' side is higher than Morris. Morris's is lower than Elphys's, and that's because of their power.
See how it is then.
But then there's this place, which is on a level playing field.
Want me to shrivel up and disappear. I see how it is. So that way you can spend the rest of your days without me. Right. I don't exist anymore to you. At that point.
Exactly. What a wonderful time it would be, not having to worry about whatever you have planned.
Once again, very similar to the later discussion between Dranus and Elphys.
You know, without me, there is no reason for you to exist, right?
This whole point I was bringing up earlier with you have to have both. If without one, the other doesn't have a reason.
Bring about a brighter age, like I said.
But the other cool thing is that Morris, they're able to talk to the fates. They're able to see the future outcomes. But Elphys isn't. But the reason why I think that's cool is because Morris is able to know things that Elphys doesn't, because they blindly hope. So they're able to see what happens if certain things go according to plan. But Elphys blindly hopes, and therefore they don't see what's gonna happen.
There is no reason for either of us to exist if one doesn't.
But also, you can notice Morris makes decisions based on what they see in the future.
I will always be the, well, to use a different term, I guess, the yin to my yang. So, there is always something out there.
Well, I can still hope.
Yeah, you never fail to do that.
Also, Morris's outfit is purple, black, and white. Black and white, once again. Elphys, gold and white.
And hope I
But what I'm wondering, does the ghoul literally mean is it just a different black?
will of a day where I return to the human world once the box is open again, and you're unable to leave.
But once again, it's shown here, because Morris knows if that box is opened, both of them are coming out of it. You know, it's not going to be one or the other. But Elphys blindly hopes, so they believe they're going to be the only one coming out of that box, and not Morris. They don't realize it's both of them coming out of that box if that's opened. But Morris knows this. And that's why he's laughing here.
Imagine how far they can come with just hope to guide them, with nothing anymore to prevent them from going further.
But here's why I bring up another question, which is very interesting too. If you didn't have anything stopping you from doing things, that would be desire, wouldn't it? That would be following your desires, right? Right. But who is the main one letting people go and do things off of their desire? Is that not Dranus? Because Dranus' cubes emphasize the desires of someone. But isn't that... This is where it gets into the gray area. Because Alphys is like, oh, imagine what they could do without the limitations of chaos. But a world without limitations is chaos. Alphys, you're the one with the limitations. Like, they don't realize they're thinking in a way that Morris is just like, that is me. That's me. Like, you're supposed to be order, you're supposed to be hope. You know, like both of them are chaotic. Both of them are supposed to be chaotic. But one of them wants to seem like they're the good guy.
Beautiful world they can build.
Oh, you play
But also, without limitations, you don't have anything stopping you, and that's bad.
way too much on them. I know something we can do then.
But you see, this is why they initiate the bet with Alphys. Because they know what's gonna happen. They've seen the outcome of this.
Let's see how much hope your humans have. Why don't we play?
But you see how they use humans. They're focused on humans, Alphys, so they use that against them, making them follow their hope, their desire.
A little game.
Welcome to the show.
Kind of game. Moros.
And this is where they stop. But then we switch over to Dranus. And we know Dranus has been having a bit of a crisis here. You know, also, let's just... I'm just gonna let this play because I love it.
I just need to clear my head. It'll be all fine. Fine, Dranus. We'll be fine.
Nope!
Oh, we are not having this right now. No.
Oh, we are not having this right
We
now.
are not doing...
I love it so much. I love it so much. It's just like, oh, this is gonna be fun, this one. Nope, not today. Not today. Not today.
Yes.
Moros, come back here right now.
Nope.
Moros, stop.
I refuse to do this right now.
I refuse to do this right now. I love it. I'm sorry. Like, that's not even a part of the analysis. I just love that too much.
Not having this.
Unfortunately,
But also, Dranus running away from hope. Ha.
we are.
But, you know, I just thought about this. You know, just in general. Dranus' whole thing is that people are just bad. You can't change them. People are just bad. And there's nothing you can do. Like, they're gonna follow their desires whether you want... Like, they know. Like, their whole idea. I feel like this is, like, Moros taken to a new level. Like, they see the bad in everything, but they see the bad in everything. They have no hope whatsoever. They're like, nope, there's no hope. Like, nada, you know, like, people are bad, people are gonna be bitches, and there's nothing you can do about it. And, like, for example, Dran, in the beginning, just like, things are good, this is gonna be good. He's like, nope, I'm slapping you with reality. Like, that's the whole thing. They're just reality. But the issue is Dranus takes it to the maximum. And that's the issue. Because as soon as that box was opened, or will be opened, or can be opened, no matter what, because as we know, they're still looking for Pandora's box. They're still looking for it. Like, it's not necessarily opened yet. But, you know, I feel like, I don't know, I had a thought, I had a train of thought going, and then I lost it. Dang it.
No.
Nope.
I need to talk to you.
I don't want to talk.
Well, too bad, because it's happening right now. As a matter of fact,
The fact they bring tea.
it's a very serious conversation.
I'll show you.
I love the tea insert there.
I believe so.
Just for that, I prepared some tea. It's quite lovely.
What? Tea?
It's one of the humans. Yes, it's one of the humans' inventions.
Watered down leaf juice.
Yes, have some.
I fail to see how this is comforting in any way.
I agree with you,
Should
though.
help calm you down, considering you've been
I don't need to be calmed down.
very... You've been quite angry recently. I think you do. Drink it.
No,
No. Out of spite.
I refuse.
All right then. All right then. We're talking regardless. Recently, I decided to check on camp.
But you see, when you think about this and relate it to the other conversations we've had between basically these same two people, in a way, it works. It just works. Because Elphys, in the first one, in the cinematic, old Dranus, went to go and check up on their sister, but their sister was angry and annoyed, but, Dranus just wanted them to be happy, to be okay, and they kind of glanced over it, tried to just, they're very avoidant, which is not what Elphys is doing here. They're not being avoidant. But also, because there's some similarities between the both of them, there's also differences, which I quite like. It took Dranus going and creating chaos, but they see how chaotic it is, but they don't see the good in it, because it's chaotic right now.
And what
I'll go more into this as it goes on.
do I find? If not chaos.
It's almost like you expect different from me, which I don't quite understand.
I agree with Dranus on this one, honestly.
I just fail to understand why you stick around the camp so much.
Yes, you fail to understand, that describes you perfectly.
What's that supposed to mean?
You fail to understand a lot of this.
But he has a point there, because, once again, they're Elphys. They have the blindfold. They're blind to it. They don't get the point of this. They don't see, because they're not able to see the future outcomes of this, because they don't want to see the future. They want to hope for the future, but they don't want to see what will happen in the future because of this. They only see the present. They see the bad that's happening right now, but they don't see what's going to happen because of this.
I think I understand that.
But the thing is, they feel like they know everything, but they don't know everything. And they know they don't know everything, but they want to think that they know everything. Like, Elphys, choose one.
I think perfectly well. I think I
that's why
understand that you...
The blindfold says otherwise.
So hard
That you
to-
have some vendetta against these poor campers.
Vendetta? Do you know what I am?
I do. And why you're so fixated on those kids? I come to camp to find out a bunch of kids were tricked by you into bringing back the seductive rose, and somehow you managed to get royalty involved in it. And the seductive rose is now having big evil meetings.
Yes, you're finding all of this out a tad late, in all honesty. As per
Oh, no,
usual.
visited-
Maybe if you
I only
unblinded
visit-
yourself, you would probably get
I only
teased off
visited
faster.
the camp recently. And you and I both know why I wear the blindfold.
Yes, and I swear, if you didn't, you would probably stop me half of the time. So you refuse.
I can stop you blindfolded.
But that's the thing. That's the thing, Elphys. Because they wear the blindfold in spite of the fates, and the fates know what's gonna happen. They would be able to stop the Dranus if they just took off the blindfold and were clairvoyant. Sorry, I had to pause for a sec. But if they were just honest with themselves They'd be able to see what Dranus is gonna do, and then stop it. But they don't.
Just fine.
You haven't been doing so lately.
I was focused on helping people in other areas, bringing hope and whatnot. You know, my job.
Right.
But it seems I simply can't take my eyes off you, even for a moment.
Ah, yes.
Because the moment I do anything different, I come back to this. A mess. Chaos.
I am not some saint. I don't know why you put this thought in your brain that I can be saved.
Everyone can be saved.
I am not everyone.
Well, I simply believe that you could at the very least dial it back a bit.
Yes, blind hope. You do that quite a lot.
You see, Dranus keeps acknowledging they know what they are. They know what they are. They're chaos. That's why they're wondering, like, why do you keep thinking I'm doing anything other than chaos? I am the embodiment of chaos. Doom, what do you think I'm doing? I'm doing my job just like you're doing your job.
It's not blind.
Blind
Counter
says
to the-
otherwise.
It is only to prevent the premonitions. I do not want to see any of them, and I stand by that.
Yes. Keep. Just say your piece. Just say your piece already. Just say it.
Once again, just say it. Same thing that Dranus' sister said. I don't know if that was intentional, but that's great.
Just so you know, I'm not naive. I know. Just so you know, I'm not naive.
You see here. You see how they're not in the flower, right? This is not the flower in the hair thing. This is regular. Said they're not naive. I feel like Dranus told them about the box, and this is what happened.
I know you think that of me.
I can't even look at you. I can't even.
But you see, this begs the question. Did they steal each other's champions? Like, just like your champion's now my champion and my champion's now yours? Like... But, like, also this would explain so much if it was the case. But also I feel like it's just Dranus' whole thing, like, existential crisis time. But once again, I feel like also that they're becoming, like, they're kind of one kind of thing. Like, Dranus sees Elphys as his sister kind of thing. Like that is their hope. But can't look at them. I feel like it's also because of guilt that they don't want to look at them.
Look at you without getting angry.
Once again, tries to conceal it. Also, notice this is the same way that old Dranus reacts to seeing the eye. He's just like, I gotta go, kind of thing.
Getting so unbelievably angry.
Why?
But you see, that's how they established that it wasn't actually her, but like, you know, hallucinating Dranus.
Seriously? Why? What is it now? Are you looking to insult my face? Are we resorting to childish insults?
No. I just can't look at you. Not anymore.
Fine, then we can at least continue it. think the biggest point of it... Alright, this is getting stupid. Look at me when I'm talking to you.
No, I refuse. I can't.
Look at me, Moros.
Stop calling me that!
How that makes them mad? Because this begs to question a whole other thing. Like, is Dranus actually still Dranus, the person? Or are they just Moros? That's a whole other question.
Why?
You're the only one who does that.
I think the biggest point...
Wait,
Without...
I'm sorry I have to look back to check something.
Just say it.
Just so you know, I'm not naive. I know you think that of me.
I can't even look at you.
Because at first, I'm not naive. It's reminding them of the last time this sort of thing happened, like, and the whole... Basically, it's kind of PTSD / repressed memory type thing, but, like, not. But notice, this is when they turn away from them. Once it goes to them actually telling them about how they feel, about how... It's kind of not confronting it. You know how in the beginning, Dranus, the actual person, because even though you can relate these two to the respective gods, they're also their own people. Remember, Dranus, if they're still them, they're still that person, they might not be naive, but they don't want to confront things. Remember, they're very not confrontational. They cover things up. They try to glance over it. They react to that like how Dranus reacted to the eye, seeing the eye on the floor. They get very distracted, like when they have to confront something, they turn away from it. And this is that literally happening. Except instead of the eye, it's his sister, because he doesn't want to confront that.
I can't even look at you without...
And he says he feels angry. He doesn't feel angry. It's the same thing as in the first scene, in the very first thing we saw, where it was Dranus, basically, Dranus' sister was being, angry, being sad, but kind of covered it up with slyness. But now it's Dranus covering his sadness up with anger.
Getting angry. Getting so unbelievably angry.
Why? Seriously? Why? What is it now? Are you looking to insult my face? Are we resorting to childish insults?
No. I just can't look at you. Not anymore.
Fine, then we can at least continue it. I think the biggest point of it... Alright, this is getting stupid. Look at me when I'm talking to you.
No, I refuse. I can't.
They don't want to confront it. They're not confrontational.
Look at me, Moros.
But as soon as they call them Moros, they turn around. As soon as they call them Moros.
Stop calling me that!
Why?
You're the only one who does that. Everyone else calls me something different. I am tired of you calling me that.
Very well. What would you like me to call you?
Call me Dranus, like everyone else.
No.
No. Why not?
You're stupid if you think I'm going to call you by that name.
No.
You see, this is what I call character development here. And lore.
I'm not stupid. I'm going to insist that you call me that.
No, I won't. You're doing this despite me.
But you see, they're not doing this to spite them. They're not doing this to spite them. Elphys feels like all Dranus is Moros. They're not them. They are Moros. they're not Moros, they're Dranus. But because of that whole thing, they feel like they're evil now. Like, you know, everything they do is for bad intentions and they can't trust them, and it's always to try to spite. It's always to try to be evil. Nothing's done out of a genuine intent. Out of, like, you know, just please. Like, genuine. But Dranus is trying to show Elphys, no, just please don't call me Moros, because I'm not Moros. I am Dranus. Even though you think that, I am still me.
Not everything's about you, Elvis.
Exactly this, too. In the last scene, Elphys made it like it was all about them. Nothing about Moros. Moros was dependent on Elphys, they believe. But not everything is dependent on Elphys.
Not everything is.
Well, this certainly is. You don't have the right to use that name.
I don't have the rights? What do you mean I don't have the rights to my own name?
It is not your name.
It isn't.
It is his.
But you see, just because Dranus made the choice to go with Moros, she still thinks that Moros manipulated them, connived them into doing their bidding, and they need to be saved in some way. That they're just being consumed by the evil. They're not them. They are Moros. They're being controlled. But what happens when it's not? What happens when this is Dranus? Just they're following their desire. They're doing their purpose. They're just. It's kind of like when you change identity, when you change your name or something, and they keep calling you by that person that you used to be. But they're not them. This is the opposite way around. Because Elphys just is in. Remember, they are blinded hope. They are being like, maybe I can save this person. Maybe I can save them, bring them back to the light, per se. Meanwhile, Dranus over here is just like, I made my choice. I don't want to be saved. Can you stop calling me by the name of someone who's not me? But Elphys doesn't want to face the fact that they might not be able to save. Like, they're doing this the wrong way, in a way. There is such thing as saving, but not in the way that they're doing it. Not in the way that they've decided to do it. They're in denial. And Dranus is just like, I'm Dranus. I am that person. Just stop calling me Moros.
You do not have the right to use the name of my champion. Do you
You see, because they don't want to admit that they lost.
understand that? You take away anything that is mine. You ruin it. And that is why I will not call you Dranus Moros.
But you see, that goes both ways.
You can pick any other name,
He's not.
but I will not let you use that one. Dranus Moros. You can pick any other name,
He's not.
but I will not let you use that one. I hope that is understandable, and I don't care if it isn't. I'm not using that name for you.
He's not your champion anymore.
What?
He's not your champion anymore.
I know that. You took him from me. You take...
But you see, this leads to a whole nother question. Is Dranus actually Dranus, or is Dranus Moros? Or, like, is it a combination of the two? So many questions.
everything from me. Anytime someone comes to me, someone believes in me, you have to come and ruin it.
As if you're any different!
But you see, like they just said, as soon as anyone believes in me, you have to take them. This begs the question, what happened to Dranus' sister? Because Dranus' sister was the only one who believed in them, who still, even though not necessarily believed in them, still come to pray to them, and still came to them. I want to know what happened to Dranus' sister.
That's what you did with Impu, didn't you? He came to me. He came to me because he needed me. He needed hope in his darkest hour. He needed a light, and I provided that light.
Well, where were you when I needed you, huh?
You see, it took the confrontation. Once again, looks away from Elphys as soon as that happens. Doesn't like confrontation. Even though they are the primordial deity of chaos, they're still, in some way, they don't like the confrontation. They acknowledge it, but they don't want to confront it necessarily. Like, they do it with everyone else, but, like, they, I guess, in a way, don't want to admit that it hurts them. And that's why I love this so much. It's just both of them. Even with one of them black wings, the other one white wings. But where was Elphys, the embodiment of hope, when they needed hope? Because remember, when Elphys, when Dranus was praying to Elphys, the person, they were like, is that so much to ask for my sister's happiness? And even Elphys is just like, I'll try, but I don't know if I can, because hope. And I feel like that was the old Dranus in him poking through, just like, where were you when I needed you? Where were you? But then again, it could just be, where were you when I needed you, in terms of, like, you know, Dranus talking to the, like, either, yeah, it's probably just Elphys. But, like, that's why they turned away. It's just like, that was uncalled for. Because they're usually so calm, so kind of hold themselves up. They put this facade on, and it keeps them safe. And it keeps Elphys fearing them, thinking, like, ugh. Kind of like, at least when I'm hated, I can be acknowledged. It's kind of like the child which doesn't get attention when they're young, so they go and do things that'll get them in trouble, because even though it's trouble, it's still attention. Remember, it took Dranus going and doing all that chaos for Elphys to even go back and see them. This is all based around how Dranus needs Elphys to stop worrying about everyone else and start caring about me. Like, I need your hope, I need you too, but you're not there when I need you.
What? What do you mean? You never needed me. Wait.
I don't know what I don't know. I don't know.
Dranus?
I don't. I'm out. I need to go.
Once again, they don't know what they meant by that, because this is the other person in them shining through. They literally don't know what that meant. Because they have a humanity in them, but they also, it only really comes out when they're in a tense, like, emotional moments. And that was a very intense emotional moment. And, like, when they said, like, where were you when I needed you? I feel like even Dranus is repressing that. Like, Dranus themselves. But, like, they don't say it. But they run away as soon as it gets, like, emotional for them. They go. Because, once again, they have that facade. That facade they hold up. It's very interesting. I love this. I love this so much, because, like, character development, and also, this is a very heart-tugging moment. Like, this hurts my soul.
No, wait, Dranus, wait!
I wanna...
Dranus?
I don't. I'm out. I need to go.
I'm out.
No, wait, Dranus, wait!
Once again, they keep running from Elphys. The last time when they were in the lighthouse, they're just like, nope, bye. And once again, as soon as it gets too sensitive, they run. And here comes the epic animatic.
The rules are simple. Each of us chooses a champion to represent them. Someone who we truly believe embodies what we are or wish to instill in humanity. Someone
Who we are and what we wish to instill in humanity.
This one!
I see. Jailer, then? I
This one!
I see. A jailer, then? Ironic.
There's more to it. He makes sure to pray to me each day. Sometimes even by the box, since he doesn't wish to be awkward. It's quite sweet. And he truly is the most hopeful person I've... What the... Hey!
Hmm? I've only selected my perfect champion as well.
His... box, since he
It's also important to note the different colors that are emphasized here, because they could have emphasized the yellow flowers on
doesn't wish to be awkward.
Dranus' sister, but they didn't.
It's quite sweet. And he truly is the...
And once again, remember, they call Moros calls Dranus the jailer, the jailkeeper, because they're the ones who are in charge of keeping the box. And they say that's ironic. They call them the jailer because they're keeping the box, not because they're literally a jailer. Also, I think this is also cool.
A jailer, then? Ironic. Someone who we truly believe embodies what we are, or wish to instill in humanity. Someone who... I see.
Wait.
A jailer, then? Ironic. Someone who...
This one!
You see it? You're seeing what I'm seeing, right? I'm not just blind.
Someone who we truly believe...
I'm not blind, right? I'm not blind, right?
or wish to instill in humanity. Someone who...
You see that? Their sash isn't blue. As soon as they touch them, it turns purple.
This one!
But you see, that's Morris's color. So why is it that Morris's color is the one that's most prominent on Dranus?
I see. A jailer, then? Ironic.
Our jailer. I just realized it.
There's more to it. He makes sure to pray to me each day. Sometimes even by the box, since he doesn't wish to be awkward. It's quite sweet. He truly is the most hopeful person I've...
Once again, they show that they're the most hopeful person, but the main examples they give is that they pray to them every day. They pray to Elphys, so they call that being hopeful.
Sometimes even by the box, since he doesn't wish to be awkward. It's quite sweet. And he truly is the most hopeful person I've...
And as soon as Morris touches Dranus' sister's statue, it turns green. And you know what they showed as the yin and yang thing before? Green. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but if so, that's so smart.
So when the girl regains her hope...
Us.
Really?
I've only selected my perfect champion as well.
You see, the flower doesn't turn any color.
His sister. Really? Can you be more obviously spiteful?
You notice how every single time Moros makes a decision, Elphys says it's out of spite. But they have a reason.
Pot calling the kettle black.
What?
She's the only one to pay any heed to my shrine, even if she doesn't quite believe in us. And she's the antithesis of everything you represent. Perfect.
Once again, she's the exact opposite of everything you represent.
What? She seemed like such a sweet young girl when she last visited me.
here's the thing. They only show a certain side of themselves to Elphys. Just like how Moros does that with Elphys too. I'm seeing parallels and I'm loving it.
If you didn't rely on blind hope, maybe you'd see the truth for yourself. I don't lie.
Once again, the champion that Elphys chose is lying straight to their sister's face. Meanwhile, Morris does not lie. They say that their champions embody what they want to see in the world and what they embody themselves as, their champions. So Elphys chooses Dranus. They choose them because they pray to the shrine every day. They want the prayers, but also, like, it's our jailer, but they pray every day. Once again, when Moros brings up Dranus' sisters, like, visits to the shrine and everything, they're just like, oh, I thought they were such a nice young girl. Just because they're going to their shrine. You see what I'm getting at here? And the girl, they're being chaotic. They're making hell because they want what's best for themselves. They're selfish, but they're doing it for a good reason. That is what Moors wants to see more of. People being true to themselves. People making decisions to make themselves happy. To give their desires, their own desires. Meanwhile, Dranus keeps on praying to something blindly, without knowing that it will happen, and keeps praying for another person. Keeps praying for, but once again realize this is not supposedly met by Elphys, this desire for their sister to be happy, because it's chaotic. But once again, it's usually Elphys who's doing things out of spite, not Morris. It shows them both so well, because of course Elphys chooses the one that lies, but for everyone's good, but is being hurt because of it. Of course Morris chooses the one person that goes to their shrine, yes, but they don't care as much about their shrine as much as Elphys does. They care more about the people.
Oh, when she last visited me.
Remember when Elphys was talking to Dranus before? Elphys was just like, the one person who came to actually seek my help, and you took it away from me. They care more about the people worshipping them. Moors realizes does not care as much.
If you didn't rely on blind hope, maybe you'd see the truth for yourself.
Exactly.
I don't lie.
They don't lie.
Anyway, the rules of our little game. It is only a simple bet. First one of our champions to stray from their current worldview will be the loser.
That was most likely Dranus.
Ah! So when the girl regains her hope, I win.
If.
Once again, this is important, this line. They don't say the other part of the deal. They only say the good part. Like how they are blindly hoping. They're like, oh, so if the girl gains their hope back, I win. They don't say about the other possibility.
She does. And
Once again,
if Dranus loses his hope, the next time the box is open, I will be allowed to leave without your interference. And vice versa.
I have a feeling, because realize they were both basically released from the box. They just have a bit of power left. They were both released from the box, right? So what if their champions switched? Morris's became Elphys's, but Elphys's became Morris's. Because once again, they both show the colors of the other. But they both realize they're both choosing the opposites of themselves. They're choosing the other's actual champion. I'm trying to explain, this is so trippy.
So, do we have a deal?
No. I cannot allow you to mess with their lives like this.
But you see, that challenges Elvis's worldview.
You think I have to interfere to get my way? I see. You're afraid I'm right. That these humans are not as hopeful as you once thought.
No, that is not the case.
You see, they don't want to admit it.
I fear is you crushing the hope once more.
That's not true, though. You could tell it was because they knew that something was going to happen. Like, they just don't want to admit that that's what they were thinking, so they reflected onto the people.
Then
Realize they make it all Morris's fault.
Case?
you're afraid I'm right. That these humans are not as hopeful as you once thought.
No, that is not the case. What I fear is you crushing the hope once more.
Then neither of us are allowed to interfere in any way outside of the usual realm of our abilities. Confident now?
You may have seen this all play out thanks to the fates.
Oh, so now you believe in them.
Yep.
Funny. Lost your hope, I see. A win for me.
I can stand against fate if I so wish. Hope always can.
So, it's a bet. Perfect.
And that's when they made the worst decision of their lives. Okay, but overall, I fucking love all of this. All of this was so well thought out. All of this was so well done. Cinematography, literally everything. I'm definitely gonna rewatch this a few times. Like, I love this so much. Okay, this is the last part of it. Okay. Bye. I'm gonna spend forever uploading these.